Regardless of where you're at, if it's just a little bit of money or a lot of money or a new opportunity, there are so many options, but you got to get really clear so that you can make sure you're making a decision on one that really fits your situation and your needs. Hi, I'm Annette Bau, host of the Wealth Inside and Out podcast and founder of the Millionaire Insider. My mission is to help you simplify the money game so you can create a financially secure and fulfilled life without having to have a PhD or spend countless hours on your finances. You're going to learn how to think like a millionaire, stop worrying about money and wondering if your financial house is truly in order, and instead spend your time doing what you love. With over 3 decades advising 7, 8, and even 9-figure millionaires, and now joining that elite group, I'm in a unique position to help you make the best financial choices so you can create a secure financial future and retirement you love. This is the Wealth Inside and Out podcast. Today, we're diving into how to find the best part-time side hustle. Whether you're looking to pay off debt, save more for something special, or even make just a little more cash, or possibly you're worried about the economy. With all the talk about a potential recession, rising inflation, even the cost of groceries and basic essentials can give many of us a pause. A part-time side hustle could be the answer. Well, most of my clients aren't as impacted or as worried about some of the economic factors. Many of their family members, parents, kids, or friends need additional revenue and are searching for alternative means of income. So hopefully today's episode is going to give you some insight, whether it's for you or a loved one. The point is, considering different options for additional revenue is never a bad idea. In today's episode, we're going to cover options so you can find a potential side income that fits your job requirements, your lifestyle, your skill level, as well as the time you have available to work it. There's literally something for everyone. So tune in and find out which side hustle could boost your earning and really help you achieve your goal. Today's free resource is our residual income guide. You can access it at themillionaireinsider.com/RIG. This is the ultimate guide to help you create a stream of residual income so you can replace your paycheck. And that really is the ultimate goal. There are a variety of options available. True passive income includes investing in cash to generate guaranteed income, whereas other options are going to require more work and less upfront cash. This guide is going to provide you the options so you can determine what works best for your situation. You can access it at themillionaireinsider.com/RIG. For today's show notes, you can go to themillionaireinsider.com/108. MillionaireSeries.com copyrights all materials and intellectual property. This information is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to replace any advisor or specialist or to provide any investment, financial, tax, retirement planning, or healthcare advice. By accessing this content, you agree to hold MillionaireSeries.com and its affiliates harmless for results achieved or not achieved. The purpose of today's episode is to help you and your loved ones earn extra income, whether it's to pay off debt, save for retirement, or supplement inconsistent income. Whatever it is, it's designed to give you some ideas to think outside the box to generate more money, even if you are retired or you have enough money to make sure you're going to have enough for the rest of your life. Only 22% of people are really deemed to be okay financially, meaning if Social Security's cut or gone, they'd be okay. So today's episode is going to give you some insight so you can start thinking about different ways in which to generate income if you need to, or if a family member does. There's a lot of talk, as we've spoke about, with uncertainty, rising costs, inflation, recession, even depression. So it's just a good idea to be aware of what is available in the event that you need additional revenue. So the first thing that's really important is you've got to know your cash flow requirements before you even consider a side hustle. Too often people jump into a side hustle without evaluating their finances first. Let's review 3 different income scenarios so you can get an idea of what type of side hustle would work for you in your situation. The first one is more of a conservative income scenario. You need cash fast. and you've got to make money for whatever reason, either your bills or something's coming up. You don't want to have to take money out of savings. You had an emergency and your emergency reserve has been depleted. Whatever the reason, you need moolah soon. This type of income scenario would be best fitted for an hourly job that provides consistent pay. Sometimes jobs are like a fixed fee, but as long as you know what you've got to do and what you're going to earn, and you've got to gauge on that, this would be a good option. Now, the other extreme would be what I refer to as an aggressive income scenario. You've got the capital, you have the emergency reserve, and you can afford to take the risk. Now, this scenario may be something like an online business, a JV partnership, something along the lines where you don't have to make money right away and you can afford to bankroll what it takes to get up and running. So those are the two extremes. And then in the middle of that is more of a balanced option. You want some upside, but with less risk. And this might be an option where you keep your job and you just start working some side hustle. And the side hustle may be, it could be an online business. It could be something that complements what you're already doing. It could be some type of partnership or some type of affiliation. It might be delivery services or freelancing. The key is you want to match your side hustle to your financial goals, the available time you have, and even your personality. So we're going to dive more into the different options so you can see firsthand which would work best for you. So what is a side hustle? It's basically a flexible income stream that is beyond your main job or your main source of income. So it's just designed to give you a little extra cash. Now, why would you want one? Now, it depends. If you are retired and you're on fixed income, you might want to supplement your retirement. You want just extra cash, or you have a savings goal. Maybe you have some major expense coming up and you don't want to take money out of your investments or out of your savings. You want to pay off debt. That's always a great reason. You have unpredictable income, or you are dreaming of replacing your 9-to-5, meaning you really want some other opportunity, but you want to get it built up before you go and just quit your job and go cold turkey. Now, for some of you that are retired or pre-retired, you don't want to spend your money, meaning you understand that the longer you can wait to start taking your money, the more money you're going to have. And especially when the market's down is never an ideal time to take your money. So that gives you a little bit more flexibility. So let's look at 8 profitable side hustle ideas. Some of these I love. The first one is just freelancing. Like you could write articles, you could edit articles, you could do graphic design, or even social media. There are so many options for freelancing. And if you don't have an idea of one, just go to either like Fiverr or Upwork and just go and start looking. And you'll be amazed the opportunities for freelancing. Now, the key here is you got to build up a portfolio. And ideally, you want to build up testimonials so that you can attract more clients. But probably one of the biggest jobs when it comes to freelancing is just having some type of process to attract your ideal client. The second one is what is referred to as gig economy jobs. And these include ride shares, delivery services, again, Fiverr, Upwork. They offer great flexibility and quick cash. I know people who have made thousands of dollars door dashing, and really it's some of my peers' children. They love it. They think it's just awesome because they can work when they want to work. If it's slow, they don't have to. Now, whenever I ride in a ride share, I love to ask the people why they are doing this job. And it's pretty much split about down the middle, where half of them are supplementing their income, and some of them, it's their full-time job. And it's so interesting to listen to the different ones, and ones that share what's great about it and what they don't like about it. And what I find really interesting is I'm a really big tipper when somebody does a good job. And I found it really interesting. I tried to give this woman a $75 tip and it wouldn't let me. The most it would allow me to tip was $50. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Some of these people, I've learned their entire life story. One was the foster care for her grandkids, and she was really struggling financially. She was doing that to help make ends meet. And I felt, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for her. Now, you just hear their different story. One guy was really trying to get out of debt. He had lost his car, had gotten in a wreck, so he couldn't do the ride share for a while. And then he had some medical issues. And so I just love hearing people and their innovative stories. And I love tipping them and really rewarding them for their entrepreneurial spirit. But you learn a lot by asking questions and just listening to people and how they think and what they're doing. The third one is tutoring, teaching, or coaching. Now, if you are knowledgeable in some academic subjects, or maybe you're really a good test prepper, or maybe you just want to teach financial literacy, the options are endless. And some people have that expertise. Taking tests was never one of my specialties. In fact, I'm not sure how I did so well in college because I just was never a great test taker or preparer. But that's something that is really popular, and it's become more and more popular over the years. Coaching can also be an excellent option. You can do life coaching, there's fitness or health, business, money, the list goes on and on. The key, I think, is finding something you have a passion about and something you have expertise in. But one of the advantages is you can have a real high hourly rate when you have the expertise someone wants. I mean, I know coaches who are earning $500 to $1,000 an hour. And tutoring can also be an option. My son is majoring in chemical engineering, and he's had a couple of math tutors for his advanced classes. They charge anywhere from $65 to $85 an hour, and the current plan we're just starting with is $350 a month, and it offers one meeting per week. So it's about $60 per week, whether or not they have a tutoring session. So that's not bad cash. And you start getting a few of those built up, and you can have a really nice little side hustle. And then coaching, as I mentioned, there are so many opportunities in a lot of different types of coaching. And I think the one thing I'll say about coaching, especially life coaching, is you got to really be providing some value where somebody can see the measurable impact and difference you're making. As I said before, you got to follow your expertise and your passion. One of the best things about this option is that you can help people and really make a difference in their life while also making a lot of money. The next one is a virtual assistant. Almost every small business needs administrative support, and some don't want to hire a full-time. So an administrative assistant can be ideal. You've got to have really good time management skills. Communication skills are also helpful. And ideally, you love challenges and a variety of different tasks. If that's you, a virtual assistant could be perfect. And then number 5 is pet or house sitting or even dog walking. They can pay anywhere from $75 to $135 a night for pet sitting. Now, house sitting, a lot of people that have multiple homes or live in one home for a while and then go back to the other, can offer great opportunities for somebody who needs a place to live. Now, there's a variety of different pricing depending on what part of the country you're in, but the first one is just like an occasional job. It's just a short stay, somewhere around $50 a day, I would say, maybe a little more. Extended stays or premium services, they say they start around $50 to $100 a day. That might even be low, again, depending on where you're located. And then live-in house sitting with pet care can be anywhere from $75 to $150 per day in higher cost areas. Now, again, it depends what you're doing. Sometimes people will live somewhere, so they get rent free, and then they just will get a stipend above that. So again, you just got to look at what works for you and then consider your options. But I know, like for our dog sitting, when we have dog sitter at our house, I mean, we're paying like, depending on how long we're gone, between $75 and $135 a night. It's not cheap. All right, number 6, content creation. You could have a blog where you are writing articles, or YouTube, you're doing videos, or a podcast where you are doing what I'm doing right now. And the way you monetize it is you can monetize it through ads, through sponsorships, or products. And what's nice about it is it gives you flexibility and allows you, again, to follow your passion and share insight that you have knowledge on. All right, the seventh is editing services. Now, if you're good at grammar and you're very accurate in your ability to edit, this could be perfect for you. You've also got to really be able to manage deadlines. I have two different editors. The scenario is typically about 1,000 words an article, and it's a 2-day turnaround. But you can go to platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, and any really online service that offers this, and that can really help you build your base. Now, they can be expensive, but once you get your base built up, then you can go and look at other options as far as generating clients. And once you start having repeat clients, it becomes a lot easier. Number 8 is local or seasonal work. Examples can be yard work, house cleaning, or even handyman gigs. Now, some of those are harder than others, right? Like house cleaning sounds great, but it's a lot of work. What you can do is start getting crews that work under you. So there's just a lot of options. If you're good at marketing, you're going to be better at any of these because then you can go into different social media platforms and post. You can also look at local boards. You can even post at places that offer it in their brick and mortar place. So there's just a lot of options. One of the main advantages of seasonal work is that it pays you oftentimes more, but you don't have that long-term commitment. So again, you got to look at what works for you, but that might be the perfect fit. So let's look at some factors to consider when choosing a hustle. The first one is the time commitment. How many hours can you truly dedicate to another job? Some side hustles require a minimal time weekly, while others you need more hours or you need to be flexible and you need to commit to ongoing work. So you got to get clear on that. The second is your skills and experience. Leverage what you already know. Now, some people love learning new skills and that challenge that you get when you have to learn something. So again, you got to look at you and what you're comfortable with and what is needed in the marketplace. Number 3 are startup costs. You got to know how much it's going to take to get going and how much you have to invest in the venture, especially if you don't make it back. Because a lot of people think they're going to get into like network marketing or online business or JV partnerships or affiliate marketing and make all this money. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And a lot of those, it takes a long time to get those built up. So you got to be really careful with that. And then the final one is your earning potential. You want to research and estimate how much income you can reasonably expect to earn, and then compare it with your goals. Start with your need for money and your time frame, and then I encourage you to go back and review those income options, the conservative, the aggressive, and the balanced, to really get clear on where you are and what you need. Because if you do, you're going to be a lot more prepared, and you're going to be finding a job that's a much better match for your situation than if you just go and do it and then look back and go, wait a minute, I'm spending a lot of money that I don't have. I need to be making money. So I encourage you to compare this to your income goals to ensure that the potential earnings align with your financial needs. That's imperative. All right, so there you have it. So let's just recap on part-time side hustles. So the first thing you got to do is really look at what do you need to accomplish? Do you need some extra money or do you want a path to financial independence? Regardless of where you're at, if it's just a little bit of money or a lot of money or a new opportunity, there are so many options, but you got to get really clear so that you can make sure you're making a decision on one that really fits your situation and your needs. And then you want to choose one that aligns with your goals, your energy, and your schedule. Some people don't want to be around people. They don't want to be driving or delivering food because they don't want to be around people. But some of those things can be really fun for different personalities. Now, I would say to be really careful if you are driving. One woman that actually my daughter met that was a driver for a driving service, she would just do early in the morning. She said she used to do in the evening and she just got too many people that were drunk and sometimes men were hitting on her. So she just started doing the real early shift, 5 a.m. to like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. She said it was perfect. So again, you got to just be aware of it and be careful. There are so many options. You just have to take a minute, look at the different options, and then make a decision. And then I encourage you to take action. You got to get clarity, and then you've got to take action. That's what creates results. A lot of times people have this great idea, but it's kind of like they never get off the starter block. So you can really get the momentum to start achieving your goals and make sure that you are saving enough money, investing enough money, and are going to really enjoy your retirement to the fullest. When I see people who are older, who are really not happy, the most common factor I see is they don't have enough money. There's nothing fun about running out of money. I'm Annette Ba'u. All international copyrights are reserved. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now. If you love the content of this podcast, please follow and subscribe to our channel so you get notified of episodes, and also give us a 5-star review and share a comment. We really appreciate it. Congratulations on taking another step to create a financially free life you love. If you're not sure about your financial future or that it's in order, or you are ready to stop worrying about money, or possibly the fear of becoming a bag lady, ending up broke in retirement, or you simply are ready to know your financial house is in order so that you can have a bright financial future, please go to themillionaireinsider.com/NSF. And that doesn't stand for non-sufficient funds. It stands for Next Step Finance. It's the next best step of what you need to do so you can avoid an NSF notice in your future. Again, themillionaireinsider.com/NSF. The number of women who were not broke or poor while working or married is staggering. The entire mission of the Wealth Inside and Out podcast is to ensure you have the information for you, your family, your friends, anyone who's willing to listen to it and apply it so that you can create a financially free life you love. Again, themillionaireinsider.com/NSF. Until our next episode, take one action that will help you create a financially free life you love. I'm Annette Ba'u, your host. All international copyrights are reserved. Bye for now.